demonstrate how easy that is, we're going to go through a quick embedding walkthrough. I had an interesting experience this morning where I spent 45 minutes setting this up to have my laptop die 5 seconds ago. So I hope that this all works as swimmingly as it did before. So I'm going to show you quickly how we could embed Tableau into a web page. So what I have here is a sample. This is an empty web page that I'm serving locally from my computer. And we're going to try and embed a Tableau dashboard within it. So in order to make this work, we need 3 things. So we have an empty web page or an application. In this case, an empty web page. We have a Tableau visualization. In this case, I have a very basic Tableau visualization from my Tableau public profile, which just shows sales per month and sales per category. It's a very, very simple kind of straightforward business dashboard, but it's the kind of thing that we might typically see our customers embedding within their apps. And then the final component I'm going to have is Tableau's documentation, which contains a little bit of code that I am going to copy to kind of show you how simple this is. Tableau's documentation about all this functionality is fantastic. So if you struggle, it's really easy to find an answer for what you're looking for, which really makes everyone's life a lot easier. So what we see here is in Tableau's documentation, they've actually embedded a storm tracking dashboard within their web page just to show how easy it is. And they've actually included a code snippet for that storm tracking dashboard below. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this snippet, we're going to apply it into our application, and we're going to have an embedded dashboard. Now, this code consists of 3 parts, really. So what we have is we have a HTML element called a div. So this is effectively the location of the dashboard that we're going to specify within our application. And Tableau will add the dashboard to this container. And then we have a script that we can copy and paste into our application, which will actually handle the machinery of making sure that the view gets displayed. And finally, we have a little function call here, which actually makes sure that once the page finishes loading, that Tableau gets the instruction to fire, and it actually embeds the dashboard within the visualization. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the little script code from here, and I am going to actually paste that into the code for our application. Actually, I've realized that I don't have that open, so just bear with me a second. Okay, so here is the actual code for our application itself. It's a basic HTML page. It's actually taken from the Bootstrap documentation if anybody's actually done any web development. So we're just going to start with quite a simple example to show you how simple this is. So the script we're going to actually paste into the head of the HTML document to make sure that gets loaded first. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to actually copy this div code, and we are going to paste that into the actual body of the web page to actually specify where this is going to load. And I'm just going to put it nice and neatly down here. And the final thing that we need to do is we just need to add this onload function call to the actual body of our web page, so that once the web page is finished loading, the Tableau visualization will be kicked off. So I just go up to the body tag, and I just paste that. Oops, I appear to have not copied it. Just paste that into there, and then I'll save that page, and I'll quickly go back to the actual view itself, and I'll just reload this, and hopefully what we should see is the Tableau dashboard rendered nice and neatly within the view, which is what we see. Now, what we can see at the moment is that we're actually looking at the storm tracking dashboard that we originally had from the documentation, and not from the actual embedded visualization that we were trying to replicate in Tableau Public. If you actually look at the embedding code itself, it always has a URL link to the actual dashboard that you're wanting to embed. So all that I'm going to do to try and fix this is I'm going to copy the embedded code link from my Tableau public dashboard. I'm going to go back into my code and I'm going to paste that into the relevant place actually within the JavaScript. And again, I'm going to save that. I'm going to go back to the embedded dashboard. And again, I'm going to reload the page. And you can see I actually have the dashboard that I created in Tableau Public, and that is nice and neatly displayed in my application. So one of the things about this is that it makes it very easy to modify content that you have embedded in your application, even after it's embedded. So if you undertake some development work to add a visualization like this into your app, and then you realize that you actually want to modify that visualization, perhaps change the layout, perhaps add some additional charts, then you can actually do all of that without re-embedding it. You can simply publish to your Tableau online, public or server at the same location that you embedded the original dashboard, and then that link will be updated automatically. We also have a lot of options that you can use to customize this view. So we can see at the moment it's perhaps a little narrow for the screen size. And actually, if I look at the embedded sample dashboard that I had shown online, I actually had these two tabs. So I would have the ability to navigate between month and category, but those views are actually missing from the dashboard that I have published. So if I just go back to the dashboard itself, there's a few options that I have here. So within the code, I can see that the example has this parameter to actually hide the tabs of the dashboard, which I don't want. The dashboard has two tabs and I want to be able to navigate between them. So I'm actually going to change this to not hide the tabs by setting that to be false. And I'm also going to find the original code that I used to add the div, and I'm going to make that a bit wider and a bit shorter. So if I say, let's make that 1,000 wide, and perhaps let's make that 600 high. And again, I'll save the page. I will dash back to the view and I will reload the view. Yep, again, so you can see that's redimensioned the dashboard that I've embedded within the application. And it's also actually enabled the tab navigation. So that even if I'm only embedding one view, I can actually enable navigation between multiple views. Now, interestingly, you'll see that I have a toolbar down here, which is branded as Tableau and has some functionality to download the report and to share the report with others. This toolbar can also be hidden. It can't actually be hidden if you're embedding a dashboard from Tableau Public. It can only be embedded if you're embedding a dashboard from Tableau Online or Tableau Server. Tableau Public, being a free service, has a certain amount of branding attached to it, which can't be removed. But this typically isn't used in a business context. This is a demonstration which we're using for the purposes of this this demo here. So this is a very simple example of how easy it is to copy code that's provided by Tableau, insert it into your application, and then very simply customize that code in order to get the kind of the aesthetic and the view that you're really looking for. Yep. So that was a quick walkthrough
of how embedding works.